One time, we successfully mated a bulldog with a Shih Tzu.
Really? That's weird.
Yeah, we called it a bullshit.
Okay, is this guy just making it up as he goes? Yep. Is it all BS? Yep. Here's Big Nate with some more BS, because it's BSing with Big Nate.
dotted line. And at the end of our days, my soul's no longer one. I'm trading all for gold. My heart is feeling cold. It's the end of our days and it's way too late. You can't break free.
That was Dying Oath. Their new one, End of Days, dropped today. And, well, hell, it's BS with Big Nate. I'm excited to talk about it. Joined by Jeb, Mindy, Ryan, and Josh of Dying Oath. Hey, guys.
Yo,
Hi.
what's up, man?
How are we all doing today?
Fantastic.
So I want to talk a lot about this track because I think it's a really cool song. Essentially, what we've got going on here is, and if I'm reading into the concept wrong, I'm a dumbass and correct me, but it's kind of like a Robert Johnson deal with the devil type of scenario, right?
Absolutely.
And I think that's, to me, that story is one of the coolest things there is in rock music, making that deal with the devil. Of course, this has your own spin on it. So I want to get it from you guys. How did it all start? How did this all come together?
Well, as usual, Josh had already written the music to it, and we combed over a couple of ideas, and as always, it was a process. We just kind of started writing and changing things as we needed, and came up with a really cool concept, and now here we are.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how exactly the lyrics came to be. Like they're fantastic though, man. Like whenever I wrote the music, I had no idea, what the actual concept of the song was going to be, and just the fact that that's how it turned out, I was blown away with it.
The song kind of builds up to almost a climax, if you will. So I think it all just kind of fits really well together. It's cinematic in its execution, and I know you guys have been working on a music video to go along with it, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Any insight into that?
It was
I
fun.
think yeah, it was a lot of fun. I think it's going to be kind of self-explanatory. I mean, it's a story that goes along with the song, so I think
Yeah. It kind of gives our perspective, I guess. The song is going to be, of course, going to be relative to the listener. You're going to draw your own conclusions and paint your own picture when you're listening to it about what you think it's about and how it could be playing out. It could be, you could relate it to anything in your personal life in a weird way, I guess. But yeah, the video, it really, man, you're just gonna have to see it. Just go watch it. It's on YouTube.
YouTube, that's the place to go. And that's another thing. And I think you guys did it really well with Insomniac. I think you guys have a history of incorporating that visual element. And I was reading an interview, I think it was Rob Zombie, who was talking about how like when White Zombie first, made it big, it was because of Beavis and Butthead. And he thinks that now music videos are more important than ever. And I'm inclined to agree, particularly in the midst of the pandemic. And I think you guys do a really good job as opposed to just, kind of phoning it in and doing a live video. Not that there's not a place for that. You guys are really well thought out with your stories and the way it matches with the song. So what's the process like from beginning to end? What's the timeline for you guys to actually like put it all together?
As far as like creating the song itself, it's just like what Mindy said. Like, I've got my own studio at my house, and I just write from the heart, man. I play riffs and try to find things that fit well together, and try to find music that I want to listen to. Things that you can hear cinematically. That you don't even have to have lyrics. I mean, the track itself is great instrumentally. You could just listen to it like that for days. I mean, I know I did. But once that concept's done, I'll send it off to the band. They'll check it out. You know, we'll see what we can do with it. And I've got this weird habit of trying to write these crazy cinematic songs anyway that, you know, you'd think you would hear, you know, in a scene in a movie or some crap. And adding the lyrics to it, it's a whole nother process. I'm gonna have to let one of them deal with that. That's something I don't touch on. I just listen to it and either give a thumbs up or thumbs down, man.
Well, after he sends the songs over, usually, you know, the guys will kind of take it home and put their own take on their instrumentals. But usually Jeb and I sit down for a day or two or weeks, sometimes depending on the song, and just kind of brainstorm and write down ideas on what we think it sounds like or what it should mean or what it feels like to us. And then we just bounce ideas off of each other and work out the kinks with timing and whatnot until we get it the way we like it. And sometimes we don't even get it the way we like it until we go into the recording studio and we're like, oh, that sounds weird. And so we'll go back and change it. And then sometimes songs are just so well thought out in the beginning that they just kind of fall onto the paper. So it's a process, and it's a different process for every song, I think.
Yeah, and
Each one of them, man.
I want to add
They-
to that. It's really amazing how these guys can capture that feeling that, you know, that I'm expressing with the music. You know, it's always got some kind of like sense to it. You know, you can listen to the music itself and just feel this emotion in it, and they somehow always know exactly how to tap into that exact emotion and put the perfect lyrics to it. Man, I love it.
Now, has there ever been a point where, you know, you're working on the instrumentation and you want to see it go one way, but then Mindy and Jeb kind of bring something entirely different to the table?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's we've only got 3 out now because we're still battling on them. I'm kind of hard headed, and me and Mindy we clash a little bit, man. But it's
We
cool
do.
because we always come out with something amazing in the end.
No,
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
always for the better. The arguments are always for the better.
And it tends to work out so much because everyone in this band has a very different perspective, whether it be because of different. I mean, I'm like 9 years younger than Josh. You know, he grew up with different music than I grew up with, and a lot of that comes into play too. Is, you know, he's holding on to this classic metalcore, and I'm used to the new one, and we try to make it something that melts together. And luckily with Mindy as well, because she's a goddess, that we can melt them all down and make something that's the best of both worlds.
Through that.
Yeah.
Well
I
put.
think. Oh, go ahead, Mindy. Oh, well put.
I
Okay, yeah.
think well put. Yeah, that was
Yeah, it
fantastic.
really is, and I think there's something there. Can't remember if it was Josh or Jeb who said it, but it was about the conflict. I think it works because you guys all have this same passion and care about the final product so much, and I think the final release speaks for itself. There's a lot of really solid stuff going on here, and if you haven't heard Dying Oath yet and you're tuning into BS with Big Nate, what the hell are you doing? You need to go check out some of their other stuff. Give them some love on their social media as well, because they're definitely doing some pretty damn killer things. And now I'm going to ask a question here, and I hate doing it because End of Days did just come out today, but what's next?
Well, we've already started recording another song, and we're currently writing new songs because I don't know about these guys, but we're getting kind of tired of the old ones. It's new to you guys, but very old to us. So we're trying to work on some new stuff for you guys, and, you know, just making content. That's really all we have right now until things open back up. So just making as much content as we possibly can.
Well, we will be on the lookout. End of Days out now. Check out the video. I highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. And we'll see you guys on next BSing with Big Nate.